Hello everyone. On today's Command vs. DCS, we're going to be checking out the performance and characteristics of the C-101CC. It's a Spanish kind of trainer light fighter kind of combination. Now, some of you are probably wondering what happened to the video that I released earlier in this week. Basically, we found a bug in it that the developers picked up on and are actually correcting right now, which is awesome, and it should make the video a little bit more clear once I redirect it. But in the meantime, I've taken advantage of the DCS, a really, really cool opportunity to try the different planes, and I picked one more up, which happened to be the C-101. So anyway, our scenario today is pretty straightforward. We're sitting here in kind of the south part of Georgia here. We have two of the main ones. We have Kutaisi, and of course, coming over on this side, we also have Sanaki Air Base. We're going to be launching some L-39s out of here to pretty much explore this zone. We're going to launch some C-101s over here to explore this zone. And the goal here is to kind of simulate like a Ho Chi Minh Trail kind of thing. Try to locate trucks visually and engage them. So to help us out with that a little bit today, I'll get things moving right away, is we do have a JF-17 with basically it has that little pod hanging off the bottom of it to help us out a little bit. And we also have an AV-8 Harrier, which is also going to help us out trying to locate some of the targets, which I have a feeling are going to be very, very difficult to do with just looking out the window. So that'll be able to help us out a little bit in DCS itself. So starting us off, you can see our L-39s have taken off. Again, originally I built this to have this cool little cooperative multiplayer mission, but I couldn't find anybody who wanted to play with it. So I'm like, all right, I'll just go ahead and use it for this purpose instead. So our L-39s are going to go ahead and take off to that zone, and our C-101s are going to be flying in this general area. Our altitude, of course, is going to be relatively low in order to make spotting a little bit simpler, but of course, there are some engagements to be worried about in the form of anti-aircraft artillery. So fingers crossed that we don't lose too much or that I don't get surprised when I fly this in DCS. When I originally built this in DCS, I actually set it up. So, oh, there's one. Nope, not what I'm looking for. When I originally set this up, I actually designed it in such a way that basically you'd have these ambush traps that would randomly appear in all these valleys that you have in this territory. So you guys are being silly. I'm actually going to order you to engage the trucks, because the trucks are the expensive things here. Nobody cares so much about the anti-aircraft artillery. We're much more interested in the actual trucks. So it was actually a randomly generated mission. It was a really, really cool scenario. And originally I set this one up that way too, but then I realized you couldn't have a one-to-one comparison if you did that. So let's go see how our C-101s are doing over here. So in my experience at DCS, these aircraft, they're neat comparisons between the L-39 and this one and the Hawk, for those of you who remember that in DCS. Basically, it's going to have a heck of a time getting up to altitude. My attack speeds are going to be very low, and it's just going to be a heck of a time even finding something worth attacking. But at the same time, it's going to be kind of cool if we see how it actually plays out. So my fingers are kind of crossed that we find something interesting. No, you don't. You two, go back where you're supposed to be. Oh, he took a shot at the... Okay. I'd be impressed if I could see that anti-aircraft artillery before it gets a shot at me. So we're going to have to use some kind of coin techniques there to kind of not get shot down, because that could get really, really bad. One thing I did change here is my mission is programmed to only fire 8 rockets at a time, because by default they drop their entire basically wings worth every single time they engage. There we go. Oh, no, we just can't get a good line of sight. This truck must be too buried. I also have some small aircraft too, kind of zinging around, kind of keeping an eye on things. I think I have like Cessna 337s, just again to make it a little interesting. I think we're going to sit here until we run out of fuel. Speed up time, and we're out of fuel. Nice. Let's see how we did. All right, we lost one C-101, which is probably going to be me in DCS. You know how this game is played. We went through a little bit of 30mm cannon. 30mm cannon is so awkward to use in the C-101. You'll see why when we get to DCS. We managed to blow up one of those, and it looks like we got a few trucks. 11 total for the loss of an airplane is embarrassing. So fingers crossed. Oh, look at how much anti-aircraft artillery was launched at us. Yikes. So fingers crossed when we do this over in DCS, we're a little more successful. All right, here we are over in DCS in the C-101, ready to rip. So good news, bad news, is this aircraft is definitely what you think it is. It is a lightweight trainer aircraft. It has some light attack capabilities, but it's not exactly something I would consider, ooh, let's use this instead of an A-10. Unless, of course, we're trying to save some money, in which case, get an Embraer 314, folks. Hopefully we actually get to see one. I was actually reading on the forum at one point that Razbam was planning to make one of those, which I think would be really, really cool, because now that is the definition of a coin plane. Coin, by the way, for anybody who has missed that acronym before, or that term. It just means counterinsurgency. Basically, this whole mission is going to be a scenario in which we're going to pretend that we're on the Ho Chi Minh Trail trying to locate supply trucks kind of making their way up and down. Now, when I originally built this mission, the intention for the mission was set up so that basically we would have it so these trucks would be randomly placed, the anti-aircraft guns would get randomly placed, and everything was kind of like almost like a co-op mission that was random. That worked really, really well, except for the fact that I had a really tough time finding anybody in which to fly with, which kind of bummed me a little bit. By the way, steering with this aircraft on the ground is done by differential braking. This is the only time I think I've ever actually just used my toes to steer an airplane, which is, kind of neat. But anyway, like I was saying, this was designed to be a little co-op mission, and I just kind of rebuilt it in command so that I could take advantage of it over here. Go ahead and tap the brakes there. Hold down the brakes. All right, let's start getting ready for our mission here. Go ahead and do that. Ripple time. That's a pretty good one. I'm not going to do any selective jettison or anything like that. I always like to double check to make sure the switch is in the down position, which it is. Is that guy taken off yet? I'm guessing he's still... There he goes. We're going to use a lot of runway for this airplane. No doubt about that. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and call them up. Request takeoff. I know there's somebody already en route. Off he goes. Go ahead and double check my lights real quick. Looks like I have the two that I'm going to have to disable real quick. I don't want this thing to be going off and giving me away here if I don't have to. I will flip on my landing light when I do get going. All right, now we wait patiently. Let's go ahead and check the guy behind me, see how he's doing. He's looking pretty good. Get my hand on the little stopwatch here. I don't think we have a start-stop button. We have a set clock, which isn't too bad. Get ready. The fun thing about counterinsurgency missions, at least in my mind, is the fact that it gives you an opportunity to really test your spotting skills. You can see the two aircraft right there. It's actually pretty cool. So in this activity, as I mentioned over in command, basically we're set up so that we're hoping those forward air controllers can find us something worth engaging, which makes me a little bit nervous. Another fun thing about this aircraft, which I really, really appreciate, or not really, is the fact that the... Look where the crosshair is. If you're just kind of cruising along here, it's all the way down here. Crazy. Oh, we spotted something. Tele utility. Okay, it's probably a truck or something like that. So that makes me feel a little bit better. It's just so absurd how incredibly low that thing is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and line up and wait. Call it 1-1, lining up and wait. Okay, let's go. Get this thing a ton of gas. Let's go ahead and bring in our first notch of flaps there. We have a nice little light that warns us we're in the takeoff flaps position. We do have a little bit of wind today, but it should be anything that's going to cause too much trouble. Putting on the landing light. Okie doke. Tap the brakes here. Unfortunately, we don't get line up and wait in DCS, which is kind of a bummer because I love it. Now, we're probably going to use 85–90% of this total runway here, so I'm definitely going to take the time to get myself all nice and lined up here. Yeah, I know you're unable to clear for takeoff. Like I said, I'm just doing the classic. Hey, there we go. QFE 2965. 2965 cross-checked. All right, let's do it. All right, buddy, you coming? All right, going to go ahead and stand on the brakes real quickly. Go ahead and bring the thing up to full power. This is one of those engines of DCS which you can damage if you leave it getting too hot too long. All right, full power looks stabilized. Let's go ahead and turn on our WEP equivalent. Let's go. All right, off we go. Now remember, there's no nose wheel steering with this plane, so you're basically going to be relying on braking until you get fast enough where the rudder kicks in, which is about 40 knots or so, so that's actually pretty good. You coming, teammate, or are you just kind of hanging out back there? All right, call 1-1 on the way. Ooh, this little engine in the back. It sounds like an angry vacuum cleaner. It's so good. I love stuff like this. All right, let's continue. Quite a bit of right foot required to keep us in a straight line. We're going to be hitting our rotate speed in just a moment here. Notice how little runway I have left. All right, 120. Here we go. Come on. Come on. As bad as the MiG-21. Positive rate, gear up. Whoa, a little bit of turbulence this morning. Nothing too bad, though. All right, let's get going. Take a look behind me. He's back there somewhere. All right, let's go ahead and bring up that notch of flaps. These flaps come up real fast in this one, which is real nice. Go ahead and shut off my WEP equivalent there. I don't want to overheat anything before I get to have the fun part here. And I'm going to go ahead and start a gentle left turn to let my teammate kind of get caught up and start heading towards southern Georgia, where our operational area will be. Meanwhile, let's get everything set up down here. Oh, look at how bright and glowy they are. Oh, it's so classic. I'm going to flip that to automatic, which it is. So you're probably saying, well, where's the pipper? Ta-da! That's the pipper I get when I shoot rockets. Not that I'm a terribly good shot with rockets, as you're probably well aware by now. But we're going to make the best of it. I think my teammate is just... Yep, there he is. Just taking off. Hey there. See you soon. Alright, let's start heading on in. Getting our speed up to the best climb speed, which is about 215 knots for those of you who missed it in the manual. So I'm going to level myself off real quickly. Get this thing rolling pretty nice and quick. One thing I was forget to do is shut off the safeties. Alright, safeties are looking good. They're nice in the off position. Alright, I really should circle and wait for my teammate to get caught up. But I'm sure by the time I find something interesting to shoot at, he'll have already caught up with me. Should be right there. I just don't see him yet. He's coming. He's coming. Alright. Let's see if our forward air controllers found anything for us. Alright, looks like we have some transport trucks over there on our left. That's going to probably be my interesting point. It looks to me like we're going to have to follow this little gorge and then take a left at the first stream. Easy. I can do that, no problem. And I'm going to get the nose down a little bit, though, because I do want to build up a little bit of speed here. Let's go ahead and grab my wingman, and I'll go ahead and ask him to rejoin the formation with us. We might need him. Now, one of my biggest concerns with this mission, flying it, is the fact that there's AAA threats, and there's going to be no radar warning receiver to give you any sort of heads up that you're about to get AAA'd. The other thing I'm really worried about is the fact that I'm going to have to be able to locate those trucks along the road visually, and then be able to swing back around and actually engage them. And lucky for us, we're actually carrying the big rocket pod, so I'm not too concerned with it. I'm going to go ahead and shut off my landing light. I don't need that right now. I am carrying the big rocket pod, so that means that we have the ability to re-engage if we need to. But in the general, we're going to get one really good pass, and then that's probably going to be as much damage as we can. So we've got to make it count. So we'll go ahead and take care of that once we get to our destination. All right, let's see how we're doing here. So we're passing up the gorge. So our destination, our direction is going to be taking us kind of along this way. My mind is taking a look at the chart / map real quick. So I notice the road is on kind of the north side of this valley. So my thought is to follow the south ridge to be able to look to the left to get a better shot at where those trucks could possibly be. So that's going to kind of be my plan, at least initially. When I do my strike, I'm probably going to be ending up coming from the east and then flying down. Although the sun is right there, so the safest way to actually do this would be to fly all the way around and then come back up the valley, coming with the sun to our backs to make it more difficult for them to engage and spot us on our attack run. We'll see if we can get away with that. I'm just kind of taking a look here. I want to be able to sight visually exactly where we are. Alright, that looks like the road where our truck funds are going to be, and that looks like the first bridge where the first stream is. So we're doing a pretty good job. It's a nice fall morning, by the way, in case anybody's curious. Temperature is about 22 degrees Celsius. Alright, that's going to be where they're going to be. So they're going to be somewhere on this road, is the best I can guess based on what the FAQ information just was. So I'm just going to kind of continue. Now, I've got to say, I kind of enjoy these sort of like low-tech, low-intensity missions because it's just like, I don't know, kind of relaxing. You know, when you're flying like in an F-16 or especially like the A-10C or something like that, there's a lot going on, you know, electronically with aircraft like that. So it's kind of neat to be able to do things, I guess I'm going to call it manually. All right, let's see what we got. What is that? Right there and right there. See it? I don't know. That could be a house. It could be something more interesting. It's kind of spread out, though, which tips me into the fact it's not going to be a group of trucks. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little bit of red. It's definitely something. Now, imagine if you had binoculars this good in the real world. This is awesome. Yeah, I know it's called a lantern pod. Give me a break. All right, so our truck should be somewhere along the road here. Zooming in is something that's like the greatest cheat of all DCS for this purpose. All right, that's looking pretty good. I just want to make sure I'm not going to smack myself into a mountain at any point. All right, I see nothing there. Bingo! Right there. Gotcha. Let me memorize the position with my eyes real quickly. Yeah, got it. Come get some. All right. Adjust my C position here so I can actually see the darn crosshair. Zoom in one more time. Oh, yeah, it's going to be sweet. I don't want to build up too much speed. There they are. Here we go. Careful. Just kind of memorizing the position. Oop, that was low. Also way out of range. Breaking off. Easy, easy. Ugh, let's get out of here. Alright, keep an eye out for any AAA. Yeah, I think that's what that is. See it? Yep, no, that's a truck. That's AAA. Other way. Come on, let's go. Watch out for that AAA. This is not exactly what I consider to be a high-performance aircraft. Hey, I got one. Makes me feel a little better. And now I have a fire, so now I have a reference that I can always come back to. Alright, I believe I'm just about out of the way. Yeah, we did good. We did good. Alright, let's go ahead and restore and get my engine back up to speed a little bit. We'll make a repeat pass, re-attack. I don't know if I got them all, but we can certainly confirm that in tactic view a little later on. Oh man, this thing does not climb. Sweet. That was awesome. Of course, in the real world, we'd have to identify them, but if this were a Ho Chi Minh Trail-like scenario, then pretty much anything in the free fire zone would be a free fire target, so we could go ahead and do it. Go ahead and check to make sure everything else is looking pretty good here. Looks good, looks good. Alright. Alright, I'm liking where that goes. I'm liking that. Okay, everything looks pretty good to me. Make sure that's all ready to go. Alright, looks good. Whoop. Go ahead and flip that down to the air-to-ground position. Just double check to make sure my cannon works. Alright, let's see if we can go find some more of those trucks. Alright, reduce my engine power a little bit. I don't want to overheat anything. This aircraft does have a really bad tendency to overheat if you're not careful with it. The trainer version is much, 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 much worse. My bigger concern is those trucks are basically going to get into the cover of that AAA, and I'm not going to be able to do anything. Alright, last I checked, they were basically right there. Alright, let's get my zooming on. We got some pretty good altitude. Whoa! Scratch, scratch, scratch. Right there. Right there. See the truck? Yeah, there's one left. Let's go say hi. Reduce my power just a little bit. Go with the eyeball method here. Looks like he's right off there to the right. Ah, a little short. I gotta watch out for that AAA, which I know is right there. I'm gonna try to use this other area here as some kind of cover. Watch out for those trees, though. Watch out for the trees. No, it looks like nothing took a shot at me. Whew, that was close. Fly a little weird here. I'm using a lot of rudder to kind of throw off anybody's aim. Gotta keep an eye on that airspeed. Hey, we got it! Nice! Go ahead and shut off my emergency power there. My boost. Alright. Oh no! I see he found the AAA. Ugh, yuck. Alright, let's go ahead and reevaluate what we have left here. We got 105 rounds of cannon. We got 4 of the trucks. We're having a good day so far. It looks like there's another group of trucks basically right where we're facing. I'm guessing it's going to be in there somewhere. Let's see if we can find them. Guessing that AAA, yeah, the AAA is right there. I don't see anything yet. I guess I'm heading right towards them. Keep an eye out. Like I said, they were down there. Let's see how we're doing here. You can use that rudder to throw off the aim of anybody pointing up at us. It works really, really well. Let's see if there's anything else. Pretty sure I have 3 or 4 rockets left. Let's see anything along the road. Right there. I thought I saw something. Of course, it's probably a flak trap, right? Nah, it was nothing. Alright, let's get out of here. See it? It's like the big burn mark. Whatever. It happens. Let's gain that altitude that we lost right back up if we can. Once in a while, I'm going to give a slight little weird kind of jingle to make it a little more difficult for them to track us if they are. Alright, look down. Looks pretty good. I don't see them. Let's go ahead and level off for just a second here. Let's see if we can, maybe there's something else. I don't see, that's the light hitting the glass. I don't see anything. Check with the FAC real quick. Apparently there's nothing here. But it does look like there's some targets further to the west of us, or I should say the east of us. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of altitude while I have the time to do so. Get ourselves leveled off here, and I'm going to go ahead and check on my stores. Here's a fun and easy way to do it. You just look at the back. Looks like my inside two are out of rockets, my outside two have plenty of rockets. So I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of my middle two ones there. Selective jettison, inside, bye-bye. And now I've gotten rid of those because I don't need them. That'll light me up a little bit and make my attacks a little bit simpler. Alright, let's take a look here. Looks pretty good. So according to the calculations, it looks like there's going to be two guys coming up on my straight right. I'll try to identify them visually. And we'll go from there, I guess. A little bit of trim. Again, the plane's not a bad plane. This is a little different than DCS, because in, I should say command, because in command we can just kind of fast forward. Whoa! See it? I don't know what that is. That's, what direction is that? That is to the northeast. Northeast of us would be right up in here. I wonder if an airplane crashed. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Okay, so we have two different paths we can go down. We're taking the right one. Man, you gotta be... I can already feel the difference in weight with that rocket pod off. There's another location directly below us along that stream. I see a fire. What happened there? That's basically straight east of us. Straight east. Straight east of us would be where one of those C-101s is operating. Reduce my temperature a little bit. I feel like I'm running this engine really hard right now. Get at least about 1,500 pounds. See it? Looks like there's two separate fires. And there's some smoke down below. See it? Okay. Let's go ahead and see if we can do something about that smoke down below. I'm guessing that's where our trucks are. Yeah, right there. See it? That fire's in the woods, though. Ugh. This might be a situation where we're just going to have to kind of spray and pray. Let's take a look. I just saw a vehicle explode. Yep, do you see it? Do you see it? Right there. That's a C-101. Alright, let's help him out. See, we're doing about 210 right now, which is more than enough. I just feel really bad to do kind of a long descent and then fire. But we're going to go ahead and dump our entire rack off to finish up this video. I'm sure you guys have other things to do today. Alright, looks pretty good to me. Fingers on the trigger. I'm guessing I'm just going to have to kind of hose the woods there. Lift up just a little bit. That's going to be really short. Alright, that should do it. Let's get out of here, because I'm sure there's some AAA down around this direction also. Alright, let's do it. Hey, we got up to 300 that time. Sweet! Take a quick look over our wing here. I don't know if we hit anybody, but it was worth a shot. We'll have to check it out in TAC View later. Just checking the road for anything else. And I think that's it. Yep, I'm out of the good stuff. Alright, so I think that's a good place to stop. Let's go ahead and take a look at our mission results real quickly here. Pop this one up. Let's see how we did here. Total vehicles, I got 4. That's actually pretty good. And I have a feeling a minute ago I actually hit one. Shot. Oh, I didn't hit anybody, but it looks like that teammate did. Alright, hopefully you found this video kind of interesting. Like I said, it's a little bit slower going when you're dealing with counterinsurgency aircraft, but there's a lot to like about that. And what's really cool is if you do that with another person in the back seat, they can act as a spotter / map reader / navigator for you, and it's a really awesome and wonderful cooperative experience. Enjoy.